In this video, we are going to talk about time. First thing, this is called a clock. This is a clock. This is a watch. The thing that you wear on your wrist is called a watch. This is a clock. This clock has 1, 2, 3 hands. The minute hand, the hour hand, and the second hand. Today we are not going to worry about the second hand, but we are going to look at the hour hand and the minute hand. So in English, we usually use the 12-hour clock. Some countries write the 24-hour clock, but when we speak, we don't usually speak it that way. We still speak the time using the 12-hour clock. We don't say 23:30 or something like that. We say 11:30. So we're going to look at how to do this. First thing, we have 12. There's two 12s. We have 12 a.m. and 12 p.m. But we don't usually say 12 a.m. and 12 p.m. because that confuses many people because they don't know which one is which. So we can usually use noon in America, midday in England for the time that many people eat lunch. So in America, if you're eating lunch at this time, it's called noon. In England, it's called midday. If you really want to say 12 o'clock, you can say 12 noon. And that's very clear. But 12 a.m., 12 p.m., it's not super clear to many people. So I don't recommend saying that. And so this is noon. Any time after noon will be p.m. So this is, no it's not. So 1 hour after you eat lunch, this is 1 p.m. or 1 o'clock p.m. Up to you. O'clock means 00, no minutes. If it's 12:00, 12 o'clock. 1:00, 1 o'clock. And because this is in the afternoon, it's 1 o'clock p.m. Also, o'clock is optional. You don't need to say 1 o'clock p.m. So at this time, you actually have several options. For me, I would just say 1. Because we probably understand that I'm talking about the afternoon, not 1 o'clock in the morning, because I'm usually sleeping at 1 in the morning. So here we can say 1, 1 o'clock, 1 p.m., or 1 o'clock p.m. They're all really the same. It depends how specific and how clear you want to be. If you go a little bit past the hour, let's say 2 minutes, you can say 1:02. If you have a couple minutes, but it's less than 10 minutes, if it's in here, you can say O. So for example, 1:01, 1:02, 1:03, 1:04, 1:05, 1:06, 1:07, 1:08, 1:09. But when we get here, we do not say O anymore. Here, we just say 10. So 1:10. No o'clock, no O, just 10. 1:10 or 1:10 p.m. And some people like to say past. If you use past or after, you start with the 10. 10 past 1. 10 after 1. For me, I don't usually use that because I think it's just a lot easier and more clear, especially for people learning English, to use 110. That's a lot easier. 110, finished. But if you go an extra 5 minutes, and we have 15, because 15 is 25% of 60, 25% is also called a quarter. So here we can say quarter after 1 or quarter past 1. And if we go an extra 15 minutes, if we go here to 1:30 p.m., we can also say half past 1 or half after 1. But again, for me, I just say 1:30. Read the numbers. 1:30. It's easier, simpler. And I'll show you one more thing. If we go an extra 15 minutes, here we also have a quarter, but it's not after, it's before. But we don't say before, we say to or till. So here, quarter to 2, or quarter till 2. This is because in 15 minutes or in 1/4 of an hour, it will be 2 o'clock. Okay, but again, for me, I usually just say 1:45 because it's easier to say and it's easier for other people to understand. So let's look at some examples of different times. What time do I wake up usually? Oh, I'm going the wrong way. If I wake up at this time, do you think this time is AM or PM? So I wake up in the morning, and the morning is always AM. So we see 5 o'clock, and we see 25 minutes, because 25 is more than 10. We can't say o'clock, we can't even say O, we just say 25. So this is 5:25 a.m. If I wake up 5 minutes late, this is 5:30 a.m. or 5:30. What time do I go to sleep? If I go to sleep in the evening, we know that the evening is always PM. So let's say I go to sleep at this time. We know it's PM, so we just look, where is the hour hand? The hour hand is on 10 o'clock. The minute hand is on 15. So 10:15. That's all. Or 10:15 p.m. if you want to be more clear. And if you feel like it, you could also say quarter after 10 or quarter past 10. What time do I actually eat lunch? So if I eat lunch in the morning and I eat lunch at this time, because it's in the morning, we know that it's AM. And we see, is that correct? Yeah, okay, actually, yes, that's correct. We see 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. It has not yet reached 11 o'clock. So we still need to say 10 o'clock. And how many minutes? 55. So 10:55. I eat lunch at 10:55 a.m. If you really want to, you could say 5 to 11 or 5 till 11. But again, I think that's confusing. I just say 10:55 a.m. Okay, so again, we have noon and midnight. If it is afternoon and it is not yet midnight, it's always p.m. If it is after midnight, but it's not yet noon, that is a.m. And again, in speaking, if you are not a soldier or a sailor or work in an airport or something, you don't need to say 23, 21. You just say 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, p.m., a.m. Okay, so this is a clock and this is a watch. If you have any other questions, please leave them in the comments.